Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the CCC podcast. We got everyone over here. We got Luke, we got Jake, we got Nick, we got myself. How are you guys? How is everyone doing today?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm pretty good. Excited about this first episode.
I know. That's going to be great.
Yeah,
It's a good one. We've been needed to do this for too long.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, let's get started.
Good start, guys.
Nice chat. Let's go.
Bye, guys. That was it. Bye. Have a good time.
No, I believe you have some topics for us, Seb.
Yeah. So as you all know, we met through the CCC, and we're all friends now. So let's talk a little bit about that. Well, I met Jake just one random evening. I decided to raid someone while I was streaming, and all of a sudden we see this one guy playing a Heart Gold Nuzlocke, and I was like, he seems like a good guy. I don't think you've reached affiliate yet, right? And
it was my second or third episode into Heart Gold, and you were my first ever raid. So
there you go.
I absolutely pooped myself when it came in. I was like, yo.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was
viewers at the seven to 9 viewers at the time, and then any small streamer will know it's like when you see that number go above 5, you start having small palpitations. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was.
No, go ahead.
Go on. I was just playing the Heart Gold, and then that popped up, and
and then we became friends. I think you were about to reach affiliate. I was like, you know what? Let's help him out. And we just send everyone over. And I had 3 or 4 viewers myself, so it wasn't as much, but it worked out.
I definitely had it in the title. It definitely worked as well. Push
there you
affiliate in your title definitely works.
There you go.
Yeah, and then we joined Discords and all that kind of stuff, and we started doing stuff together. We did the Soul Link. And then, you raided Luke, so what do you tell us about that a little bit?
So I don't think it was a stream that you raided me, because that'd have been too.
Oh no, it was way after. A lot
poetic. But no, yeah, I did the same thing. I was scrolling through, and Luke just happened to be playing my favorite game at the right time. And I passed the boys over, man, and bro, he had me hooked from day one. His content had me hooked from day one, so take it away, Luke, man.
Isn't it crazy how amazing Heart Gold is as a game? It brought us together, right? It's just like you separated you for Heart Gold. I was playing Heart Gold when you rated me. It was again, as we talk, for any small streamer, when you get that raid, it means a lot, and you're like, oh my god, I don't have my 3 normal viewers, I have 7 or 8 people now watching me play Heart Gold. This is my first time playing playing a Nuzlocke on stream. And I'm making very silly mistakes, but it was so much fun. And then obviously after that, I started coming into your streams when you were streaming, which again, I think everyone kind of knows this is the reason why we're called the Critical Continental Cup, is because we're spread out across the globe, that our streams were you're ending your streams when I'm getting off work. So I try to catch it before I get off work. And then, Seb reached out to me about doing the CCC, and I guess the rest is history. And
we are. Yeah,
here we are. And then here's Nick over here. That just so happened. Nick, who? What was your where did you come from? What stream did you come from, or anything like that?
I'm not a streamer, so nobody was raiding me. I think I'd been just trading and stuff with Pokemon on Discord with Mike and Carly, who was streaming, and I traded with him weeks ago, and he just sent me a random message. It's like, hey, I'm going to start streaming today. Come watch my thing. I was like, I literally have got nothing better to do. So I did. I think that stream, which was his first one, Seb jumped in and invited him to come and join the CCC.
Yep.
I think Seb was just looking for like small time streamers to join and whatnot. And so he's just like, hey, I know you like it. Do you want to join? I was like, literally, Draft League is exactly what I've been trying to find. I'd spent like the
There we
last
go.
2-3 days like looking for how can I join like, a draft league where I'm not just going to get absolutely pounded on day one. Um, and then, yeah, I just happened to get invited in. It's like, great. And so I'm messaging Seb. It's like, hi, I've been told I can join your draft league. Is that okay? And it's like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, now I need to make a logo. And then I'm like, oh God, I have access to no like good software and stuff. So I mock something up, send it across to Jake. It's like, hi, I heard you're good with logos. Do you reckon you could just cut this out for me? Kind of thing. And it's like, I'm trying to be super polite because these people, like you guys, I didn't know you at this point. I was just
Yeah.
I was asking for favors right off the bat. But I mean, you guys have been great. You've been super welcoming, and as we've said, all fast friends now. And then there's Luke, who I try to watch your streams, man, but the time difference
It's
is
all
killer.
good, man. It's
Like-
all good. I trust me. I understand. As we joke multiple times, it always seems to be like Seb starts off the day, Jake takes over, and then I come in for the late round shift at the end of the day, and that's how we do our rating thing when it comes down to that. And it's just
Like,
it's a whole thing. It's like
I
a
mean-
full day shift.
we have to put a massive shout out to Master Phoenix. The
Oh,
guy
yeah, man.
came to me
Legend.
through a raid from Shiny Ninja, and we all remember it because I got raided by like 76 people. On the same Dynamax raid, we hit the Shiny Alchemy, and Phoenix has been there ever since. And
Yep.
my guy will sit in Seb's stream, he'll do my stream and Luke's stream.
Dude,
Dude's an absolute legend, man. I can't
He
even
is.
with him, dude.
And if you
He's the
look at the
VIP
chat,
on
he's
everywhere.
very often he's like the only person talking. He's just
Yep.
carrying the chat by himself. Like,
Yep.
what a guy.
Phoenix is the guy, man. I can't wait
love you,
till Jake
Phoenix.
wins the finals and we can hear his voice.
It's
I
for
can't
you,
wait.
Phoenix, man.
It is
It's
for you.
for
The
you.
man's an absolute legend.
But yeah,
But no, I mean, what a
Yep.
poetic story, man.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's
How
so weird.
all
It's
come
just like
together.
out of nowhere. It just felt like it was out of nowhere. I don't know. Like
I mean, it's crazy, man. Like as you were saying, like out of nowhere, like who, like I guess that's a beautiful thing. I always say this about social media and stuff like that. It's a beautiful thing how random things happen and how crazy things can we just connect it. I don't know. I think it's rare to just find like a core. I mean, us four, just connected on such a level. I mean, look, we're doing a podcast right now for heaven's sake. You know, it is absolutely insane. Who would have thought at the start of the CCC that this was going to be the way we're going to end the first season? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, to be fair, I think it helps that we're all of a similar sort of mindset that we're all taking this really chilled and relaxed, but also at the same time taking things far too more seriously than probably anybody has any right to do.
Exactly.
yeah,
We're getting into it, you know?
I'm so into it, man.
Oh no, I don't take this seriously at all.
He's got his heart. You see this man's heart rate monitor in the bottom right of his stream going to 140 every time he's battling. Yeah, this man is definitely just playing it real chill, right?
I've seen his heart rate monitor get to higher than mine gets when I'm in the gym, you know? Like it's absurd.
No,
man.
I'm just way too competitive. Way too competitive.
I think we all are. You just gotta learn to
Yeah.
chill a little bit when we lose.
for your heart's sake, Jake, just take
I
a
don't
deep
mind
breath.
losing until Phoenix puts me to sleep 4 times in a row, and I was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done."
Yeah.
Fair, so fair. And I
Yeah.
think it's super crazy how this isn't it weird how like something from our childhood, I don't know about you guys, but Pokemon has been something that's been a part of me since I was a very young
Oh, yeah.
young boy. And it's crazy how we all met. I would say we're all in our mid to late 20s, you know. Pokemon again is the key that just brings people together, and it's just something that is one I think is super beautiful and poetic. That just a simple game for a child, is affected for grown men in a way that it's just crazy, right? Like Pokemon has just been such a huge inspiration for sure.
No,
Yeah,
that's it. I mean,
Pokemon.
you say to late 20s for the record. No, I'm so late. I'm past the 30s, but yeah, it's something that's been around for a long time and loved it from
Yeah.
very
What were
very
you
young
guys'
age.
first experience with Pokemon?
Yeah, Nick, why don't you start since you're the oldest one in the group?
As the veteran, so I remember, I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure someone will correct me on this, that Pokemon came out in the UK, I think, in 1999. Um,
Correct.
yeah, and I just remember as Christmas was approaching, I was going pretty much, there was one thing I wanted for Christmas that year, you know? I wanted Pokemon Blue. That was it. I was watching the TV show and stuff like that at that point, and my parents knew it. The shelves were selling out, and Christmas morning, opening presents, hadn't got to it, and then I open it, and it's Pokemon Red. And
Oh,
like my dad then comes to the store. He's like, "Look, I'm sorry. There was one copy of Blue, and literally as I was walking towards it, I saw this lady in front of me take it off the shelves, and it was just like, I was like, yeah, I've got Pokemon, and that was it." I'm pretty sure I had a Blastoise by Christmas Day afternoon. Like I just played it solid from the moment I got it, and yeah, I mean it's come in and out of my life ever since, but I've loved
yeah.
it.
Right.
Um, who's going to pick it up next? Who's
I think
I
Luke
think
is
next
next in
to
line,
tell us
right?
their intro?
Yeah. I guess if we're going by age, I mean, I'm 28, so I guess I'm second line. So I don't have a like beginning memory per se of I
Mhm.
played the original. I know I played Red, but my fondest memory would be the one I hold with me dearest is playing Pokemon Gold. I
Okay.
remember playing Pokemon Gold and Crystal. I think it was Gold and Crystal were the two ones I played the most as a young child that I can vividly remember. I know I played the Red. Actually, fun story. Actually I do remember playing Red because there's a fun story. I met my best childhood friend met in first grade
Mhm.
because we both could not get past Victory Road in Pokemon Red because we couldn't figure out how which pitch like which black area to push the boulders in so we could walk past.
Yep.
So I vividly remember
Yeah,
that, and
I've got you.
that was a pain. So that
That was
brought us
tough.
together. That was really tough for 6-year-old Luke trying to figure things out. It's very frustrating. But teamwork makes the dream work. We got through it. But Pokemon Gold and Crystal were just the ones I vividly remember. Charizard is my favorite Pokemon, as obviously. So the second I saw like Lance had his Charizard, I'm like, where do I get one? How do I get one? You couldn't get one in the base game, so I got the master brain or master boy or whatever. The hack in the Pokemon, and it was just
Oh, I
a whole
remember
yeah. I
Yep.
those.
can't remember what it was. I think it was
Oh, what
Master
were they
Brain.
called?
I can't. I
We
know.
called Game Shark. It was Game Shark over here. It was
Yeah,
Yeah, that
like
was
a
what we
cartridge
had.
that you
That's
put your
it.
cartridge into.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
so
I would like hack in a Charizard, like level 100 in there, and yeah, I just vividly remember. I remember playing that when I went camping, and I remember like telling my parents like, "Oh, I want to get back to the camp early to help set up for like lunch or something." I was 7. I didn't know how to set up for lunch yet. I just wanted to go play Pokemon Crystal because I was near the end of the game. But yeah, like Gold and Silver like were my like vivid childhood memories, and then I mean I've played every single Pokemon game since. I think everyone's had that one moment where they kind of fell out of it. Like mine was Black and White, and then I
Yeah.
fell back into it in Black and White too when I was in college, and it was ever since. I mean, I played every single one. I've enjoyed most of them, and it's just it's a part of me of my life that I don't think I'll ever like give up. I think I will be a 6-year-old man playing Pokemon until they stop making Pokemon.
Yep.
So, what about you,
Right.
yours
Jake?
on birthday, Seb. When are you born, Seb?
I'm in 30th of December. So you're next,
Oh,
right?
so I'm older than you. Um, so yeah, I'm on the same page as Nick. It was Christmas, 1999. I was 4.
Oh
Oh,
wow,
going
God! I mean, I wasn't that much
going
older,
5.
but
Um, And I remember opening up my first gift, and it was Pokemon Blue. And then the Game Boy Color came out of the second box, and I was like, "Go!" It's like, have you seen that meme of that kid where he pulls the Blastoise? He's like, "Blastoise!" But no, Pokemon always holds a fond memory. I always say I owe my life to Pokemon. I think vividly remember I practically learned to read from Pokemon. So I remember when I was playing as a kid, my mum would tell me that she'd have to do like the gym battles for me because they were too hard. But also she'd like read it out to me because believe it or not, Pokemon's got some fairly big words in it for a 4-year-old. So I technically learned to read from Pokemon. She said I used to play religiously. And then the same with Luke, man. It sat in front of me. I've still got my Game Boy Color. I've still got my blue cartridge, and I've still got my gold cartridge. Man, the Pokemon Gold was probably hands down the best video game I've ever played in my entire life. On any console. That game for me resonates so hard in terms of childhood memories, but also like just to play through, man. You can get as a kid because things were actually hard as a kid.
Yeah.
Like you'd run through with like I don't know, you'd have like a Typhlosion with like 5 fire moves, well 4 fire moves.
Yeah.
Like you get wiped, you get fully wiped, and it's like, well, this is quite hard. And then I remember getting battered by Lance twice. Trying to do the Pokemon League with Pokemon I've caught in Victory Road because apparently mine weren't leveled up enough.
Yep.
But it will always hold a fond memory in my heart. And then, like Luke said, I think I fell out between. I've played every single one, but I didn't play them as they came out. So after, I think it was Black and White, Black and White 2, I had to pick them up as pre-owns. And I remember I paid 50 quid for Heart Gold when it was like 3 years old. And then after that, I started picking them up again, X and Y. And then I remember I bought, with X and Y, I bought my 3DS off eBay for £60 with a damaged battery. Replace the battery. That's now working. And then Oras. And then ever since then, it's been every game since. So like, yeah, I had the little blackout, but it sucks you back in, man. It sucks you back in so quickly. I remember
really
playing on
does.
the 3DS and the when the Visual Boy came out, the emulator, I brought that the fastest £12 I've ever spent with Yellow, playing that on a 3DS, bro.
We'll say, do you know something? Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, what I found really interesting about both of your stories is, I said, like, I've kind of blown in and out of Pokemon and stuff like that. The one gen which I dropped out of was Gen 5, Black and White. Luke missed out on Black and White. Really?
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, so I'll let you continue, but yeah, I think, I mean, for most people, like even my age, like my friends and stuff that play Pokemon, it was just like, for me, it was like Black and White came out like when I was like 16, like 17 in high school. And I think I was at that point where I was like, maybe like, I don't want to say judging myself for still liking Pokemon, but it was like definitely a thing in my mind. I was like, should I still be playing this game? Because I didn't like the Pokemon. Like I was like, in my mind, I was like, these mons are silly looking to me. Like there's a zebra Pokemon and a duck Pokemon and trash. I was like, I don't, an ice cream. I'm like, I just don't know. I'm not vibing with it. And then I got into college, and then Black and White 2 came out, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, like you can catch like a Riolu like in Route 4. I was like, you know what? I might pick this one up. And then now, as a grown adult, I think we all can contest. I think we've all played Black and White. I would like to say again, oh, you still haven't. Oh my god.
I still haven't played Black and White or Black and White 2.
The story in Black and White and Black and White 2 for me are like the best stories in Pokemon.
I
like
probably should do it.
Now
I might do
looking
it
back, I think it is the best main story of Pokemon, like in the game. I think X and Y is kind of close to. X and Y can kind of get pretty dark, but like Black and White 2 had some really cool story points. But Sep, go on and tell us about your first experience with Pokemon, man.
All right, so I remember this. my cousin after Christmas got a Game Boy Color, and I don't know. At that time, I didn't know what Game Boys were because we're always a little delayed over here, like where I was living. So everything came out later. So it's like, what's a Game Boy? What's this kind of stuff? And I would walk into my cousin's house and she was playing. She got Pokemon Yellow, and I was like, okay. So I just walk in, and she hated Pokemon. So like her parents didn't know. She just bought a Game Boy Color and a freaking game, right? So I just walk in. I remember the next day, we're all having like breakfast or whatever, and I just like, she shows me this Game Boy Color. It's like, oh, it's Pokemon. This is insane. And I just started playing. And at the time, all games came in English. There was no other language. And I was in school learning English, but I know nothing about English. And somehow I was just playing around that game and I knew what to do. Until there's this point in Pokemon Yellow where you go into this house, which is like the PC owner or the the one guy
Bill?
that
Bill,
like turns
Bill.
into a
Yeah,
Pikachu.
Ocean City. Yeah.
Yep. And I walk in there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this guy just disappeared. And I tried walking out the house, and then it's like, oh, you gotta help me or whatever. And it's like, and they won't let you go out the house. And I'm like, why wouldn't let me go out the house? And I was like stuck there. I remember I would leave her place, go to my house, go to school, then come back home because she lived next to me. So I would just run to her place, grab her Game Boy Color, which she wasn't using, and I was just like playing the hell out of it. And I remember as soon as that light turned red, I would panic. I was like, I need batteries. Where are the batteries?
I forgot, dude.
batteries.
Dude, do you guys remember the fact that the Game Boys didn't have a backlight for your screen? Like once it
You
hit,
have to shine the light.
you had to shine the
bought the
light.
light?
Or get,
Who
I
bought
did.
the light?
I
The
did.
old-
Right
Yeah,
there.
I did it.
100% I did. But like you couldn't like in the sun, like if it was glaring, you couldn't play your Game Boy. So you like if you were in the car, you'd have to like kind of like dip it under like in the shade so you could
Yep.
kind of see what you were doing,
Yeah.
dude. Like
Yeah.
oh, and the batteries. Oh my god.
I vividly remember getting the SP, which is like the fold
Yep.
laptop one, the first one to have a backlight, and playing it underneath my covers just because it
Yeah.
could. It was like,
Yep.
whoa! Press
Yeah,
the
and
little
so-
backlight button.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then eventually, I think my cousin got other games and stuff like that. So she like, eventually I kept it. I kept it in my place because she would never use it. And then she asked for it back, and I was like, no. And I think by then my sister was being born, and my parents were so smart because they didn't want me to get jealous. So they told me, my sister has a present for you. Like when she comes, she has a present for you. And all of a sudden, like she was born, and I went to the hospital. They took me out of school. I went to the hospital, and I just walk in, and she has like a little present on top of her. It's like, oh, what's this? And all of a sudden, I open it,
Oh,
Game
so
Boy Advanced, and I was like, yeah,
Let's go.
yeah. And then,
Oh, that's
I got-
cool.
Sorry?
I'll save my Game Boy Advance story until Seb finishes because I've
Yeah,
got a really good Game Boy
And so
Advance
then
story.
I like knocked into my, into my cousin's like, can I borrow the game? And then she just gifted it to me. So like, I played Yellow, and eventually like Pokemon Sapphire came out, and I bought Sapphire, and that's probably the one game I played the most. Just because now I knew English and I knew what to do and all that kind of stuff. And it's probably the game I like the most because of what there is to do after the game. But there's so much, you get the Reggies and how hard it was, you have to get all the riddles, and you got to go into the Reggie caves and like go clockwise, and who the hell's gonna figure that out? And I just
didn't.
love that game.
I
Sapphire is probably
I didn't know until Horace or something like that when I was like,
Oh,
"Bro, what are
really?
these?"
I- dude, I didn't have internet. I had to like borrow the Prima like official
handbook?
guidebooks to like show me how
Oh,
to
no
do it.
way.
Oh,
I
they're
Yeah.
remember looking through
quality.
the book. I was like, "Why is this like braille at the back?" It's like,
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
What
And
is
then I
this?
eventually
And-
like it was just like you need to get what was it like? You need a Relicanth and a Whalmer at like
Yep.
in a certain spot in your
Yep.
PC to
So Reliconf
get-
at the front, Wailord at the back, and
Yeah.
then you had to use like dig or fly, or you had to use an escape rope if I
Yeah.
remember
You had to-
correctly.
Oh yeah, wasn't it only Dig? You have to use escape routes too?
I think it was
you had to use dig, fly, and something else. You had to stand in the middle of the room and use fly or dig. For 2 of
It was
them.
dig. I remember it being dig because I had used the TM already, and then I made a Pokemon forget it, and I didn't know where to get dig. I was like, God damn it! I don't want to start the game again.
I think I remember looking that stuff up online once I'd completed it and just being like reading it and just nope, not doing it. I'm not playing that. That is far more complicated than I wanted to get into.
Yep, I
remember I went to my friend's house and he had a Rayquaza and I was like, what is that?
Yep.
I was like, yo, because I didn't even know Skypillar existed. I'd never like swam up along the top of the route in front of the crash boat. I was like, what?
Yep. That was me with the Reggies. I didn't know they existed until I was in the school bus with one of my friends. I was like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm trying to catch Regigigas. I was like, not Regigigas, Registeel or something like that. And I'm like, what? What is this Pokemon? It's like, that's what that cave was for, you know? It was, yeah.
Sapphire had a lot of like riddles.
Yeah.
But then one question I want to ask everyone is, do you remember hitting your first roaming legendary? Because I do.
I sure do.
I do. I hit Entei in just below Ecruteak. Bro, I had like level 20s. I was like, what is this? And luckily it ran away. Because I was like, why is it level 40?
Yeah, mine was fun. Mine was the same. It wasn't Entei, it was Raikou, but it was on the route going to Olivine City. It was to the left of Ecruteak. And I was at swimming lessons when I ran into it. I'm like, what is this tiger, dude? I want this. And I threw a Pokeball, it ran away. I'm like, no, how do I get it? But then I realized, because I was like checking my map, I guess randomly I checked my map and I saw the little like beast icons blinking. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, where I'm supposed to go? And then it would, obviously they would change because every time you go to a new route or a city, it would change location. And then eventually I'm like, oh, it's here in this route, so I can get it here. And eventually I learned how to like catch it. I just threw a Master Ball at it because
I remember trying to get, because mine was definitely Latios or something like that, but I knew they were running around. But I remember like trying to figure out how to catch it because it would always run away until I finally got a Golbat. It's like, what does Mean Luck do? And I just used it, and then it never ran away. And I'm like, oh, okay,
right here.
Yeah,
dude, I didn't even think of that, dude. I just put him to sleep or get a Pokemon with the ability like Arena Trap and try to catch it that way.
Your story is pretty much exactly the same as mine. It's Raikou, you're seeing the beast move about, and then eventually you finally manage to put him to sleep. Yeah. But like, that is genius, Seb.
Yeah,
genius.
It was pure coincidence though, because I never knew
English native speaker knows how to catch it better than us.
I never knew how to do it, and then it's like, what Mean Look? Just press that thing, and then it never ran away. And then I actually read what it does. It's like, oh,
that's great, man.
That's how I caught my Latios or Latias, whatever it was.
So my story with the Game Boy Advance is, I got to Four Tree City, and I went to go do the gym, and I lost 3 times. And as a kid, I was very rage induced. So I smashed the screen.
Hang on. What do you mean, as a kid? We have watched you when you lose matches, Jake. All right.
So I smashed the screen by accident. In my defense, I punched like the D-pad. Like the side of the Game Boy Advance. Cause you remember you held it like I didn't dare tell my mum. I didn't tell my mum or my dad. So I had to sit there and not play Sapphire until the SP came out, and I was like, oh, I need that.
You waited that long. Dude, I would have made up some excuse that was just like, I dropped it. Or my favorite excuse as a child was like, my sister did it. And then I look at my sister. My sister was always pretty chill. She was like, "I did do it." She would take the fall for me, so she was always pretty
Your
chill about that.
Amazing.
Well, my sister's great, but she was the one. So funny thing about Sapphire, she was the one that took me to get. So I told her I wanted to get the new Pokemon games, and I told her, she's like, but she was always a blue Pokemon Blue, and I was always Pokemon Red. But she's
Yeah.
like, if I'm gonna take you, because she was the one that could drive and I wasn't. She's like, you have to get Sapphire, and I'm like,
Oh.
as a kid, as like a little 8-year-old, I'm like, but I want the red one. But she's like, no,
I want the red one.
I'm driving you, and you're buying it, so you're gonna have to you have to help me out. You have to get Sapphire. I was like, okay, Nicole. So I got Sapphire. But now when Oras came out, I was still like, I gotta get Sapphire because that's just tradition, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
tradition. I gotta get Alpha Sapphire. But
I
yeah,
don't know,
no,
I've always been
that's
a
crazy.
blue guy. I've always been a blue guy.
I
If
mean, I
it's been
love
a
red.
blue
If you can't
game,
tell.
Yeah.
but no, it's I remember
Yeah.
it like vividly with Sapphire
Mhm.
like ripping it out of the box. And
Yeah.
now, if me looking back, I was like, "Don't rip the box!
Don't save the box. It's
Yeah.
worth thousands of dollars now.
God, yeah. I
Put it in a case. Don't even get the game out at this point.
Bro, the box got demolished. There was nothing left. Like, whoosh. the cartridge would come flying out, and it's
you didn't used to think, like it's a box. It doesn't matter as long as I've got the game. Well, who cares? The concept of games going up in value over time was
Yeah.
alien, I think, to all of us. Like it was
I
just like
mean,
it's old, it's cheap. You can get it pre-owned or whatever.
yeah.
Like
That's crazy. I mean, I get it. Now as an adult, seeing like, oh, I'm literally buying my childhood back, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
It's just like, God, I wish I would have held on to that structure deck box of like the old fossil collections for the Pokemon cards and stuff like that,
yeah.
or like the games. But it
You
is
know
what
what?
it is.
I
When
think
I was playing,
my first
oh,
one
sorry.
of that was sorry.
No,
My
no, go
first
ahead.
one of that, real quick, was with Gold. I bought Gold when it first came out and stuff, and it was loved it and whatnot. Then promptly lost it as a kid. I lost everything. After I'd completed it, but then wanted to go back to it years later and was like, okay, can I find it? Of course I can't. Okay, I guess I'll just pick it up secondhand. It's like, what do you mean it's twice the price of what I paid for it when it was new? Like that was, I think, my learning period of how games can go up in price. And now I'm just like, I need to keep hold of every game I've ever owned, and I've definitely still lost some. I haven't got any
Yeah.
better, but I
Yeah.
try. I try now, and that's the key thing.
Now, I remember when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and they would take me every Friday because there's like one library that would sell the cards, and I would go and I want to play with the cards. I don't want to collect them. I wasn't a collecting guy. I just wanted to play with them. And I remember going, and my mom would be like, "Yeah, you know what? Why don't you buy a couple extra and just save them for the future?" Because she was a huge collector when she was a kid with other stuff. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, sure. And then I would buy them, and then I would never get what I wanted, and I would just open them. And then now looking back, I'm like, God damn it! I should have saved my blue eyes. And it was a first edition. I had almost every single first edition, but I still have them, but they're like in such bad condition. It's like, God damn it! I should have just saved it. But I just played with them.
Hindsight is 2020, man. Hindsight
Yeah,
is
we all have to
2020.
grow up and learn these lessons. And I mean, like, look at us now, where we've come, particularly with Pokemon and stuff, of what we were doing back then to what we're doing now and stuff with it. It's completely different and whatnot, but you've learned all these lessons about price, amongst other things, along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose that leads us on to like what I want to ask people is, what was your first draft league that you watched?
A drives, I think.
Like, it was Air Drives. I think he was the first guy to like YouTube do it. Like in terms of like, there might have been organized leagues beforehand, but like the first.
Actually, I think
Like,
there was one
publicly out there
before that.
Go on,
So
Luke.
I was a big Shady Penguin King Nappy guy
Yeah.
when I was streaming watching, and there was the UCF, and I think that came out. Well,
Oh.
I didn't know who A Drive was before. I knew A Drive after I knew those guys, which was like a couple years after. Like I was already in the like PokeTuber scene, but I remember the UCF. Yeah,
because
I remember UCF.
I was Call of Duty primary.
Yeah,
and Air Drive was Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made the switch to Pokemon. So I'm with him where I went from
Call of
COD
Duty.
to
I definitely met Shady
Pokemon.
Penguin through Adrav's Draft League, and then I loved Shady Penguin after I discovered his channel. I think he's an amazer. Like the way he just talks and explains stuff, it's just great.
He's very
I love how he does it.
clear and like decisive with how he speaks, and he has like that great energy, and he's just really entertaining. Well, I mean, even before like he started like doing Twitch and all that, I was always constantly watching his YouTube videos of him playing. Like I remember him and like another guy were playing they were doing random Pokemon Stadium battles, and I would just watch that, and he was just so good at like just like making that game I will say right now, did not age well at all.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
I
will
love it.
defend
I love
Pokemon
it.
Stadium to the
love
death.
Pokemon Stadium, but man, looking back, I played it not too long ago. I'm like, this game aged very terribly as a console game, but I still love it. I want it on the Switch whenever they decide to stop being lazy and just give us the Pokemon games on the Switch, because it's not that hard. Like they want to, but they got to make money. They got to make money. So,
Of course.
but regardless, Shady Penguin was great, and the Draft League I think was the UCF, and I think I can't remember this team name. I think it was like the New York something. I can't remember.
New York something with Shady.
Yeah, New York something, and I just remember watching him do that, and I think that was maybe A Drive was in that, because now that I'm thinking about it, I think the Draft League that I was watching was definitely either X and Y or ORAS. So actually, maybe A Drive was in the Pokemon community at that. Well, he's probably like early into his Pokemon community around that time. So maybe he was a part of that Draft League that you guys are talking about. So, but I do vividly remember that Draft League with Shady, Nappy, those two in particular that I just remember watching theirs because I was subscribed to them. So I watched those weekly, and it was always cool like that. And then obviously I kept up with it, and now A Drive's in it, with Wolfie and all those guys.
Yeah,
and,
now all the big dudes are there.
That's crazy. So it's crazy, and I love watching it. It's super entertaining. Which I guess brings us to the point of like how crazy that we have our own draft league that Seb and you, Jake, have created. Like you made this beautiful little baby and then gave it to the world and gave it to us, and I just like
I want to put my hands up and say I am just the cameraman. It's like it is. I take way too. I don't want to take the credit away from Seb. It was his idea. It's in all intents and purposes, it is his league. I just helped make it happen. Seb was the one who recruited everyone. Seb was the one who organized all the people. Seb did the hard part. I just said, if you can get everyone together, I will make some graphics and I'll make it look.
Bro,
pretty.
you made it look so professional. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
you deserve at least half the credit, man.
It's easy to make it look pretty. I just have to deal with me. Like you had to deal with 16 other people.
I do have to say, I've been wanting to do this ever since I started with. I started streaming with TFT, which is totally different from Pokemon, and then Joshy was streaming. I think he was streaming like a Soul Link with Pokemon Emerald with his friend Mark, and I was like, oh, this is great, and blah blah. And he's like, oh, you like Pokemon too? And it's like, yeah. It's like, oh, I'm doing my own draft league and blah blah blah. And I was like, all right, I better get a capture card because I started streaming. I need to, I need to do all this stuff, So then I said yes, and it didn't start. This was like in December, and it wouldn't start until like end of February. And then he was in another league, and then someone dropped out. So they asked me if I could pick up their team. It's like, okay, this is going to be good practice. This is going to be good practice. And so I just started playing ladder and all that kind of stuff. And I got my capture card. I just got hooked it again. Because last time I played competitively was maybe ORAS. And then I just dropped out of it. And I just started doing it. And it's like, you know what? I want to do it with like my own community, And but I didn't have like enough viewers or anyone to just like, hey, just join. And I remember, I don't know how it happened, but it had my idea. And I was in Jake's stream. We were doing maybe shiny hunting or doing something like that,
I
and we
remember
mentioned it.
It was me, you, and Brandon, and
Yep.
like you'd mentioned it in my stream, and I'd ended, and we were still sat in call. And you were like, "Oh, I wish we could do this," and I was like, "Well, how many people have we got that we can do this?"
Yep.
And then you started like tallying up the numbers. It's like, "Oh, I could get this, and I could get this person," and we were like, "Okay, we've got like 8." It was like, "That's enough." And then before I knew it, Seb, the next day, Seb messages me going, "I've got 14." I'm like, what? I was like, I'd gone to sleep.
Dude.
We'd had a meeting. I was like, right, I could get some graphics knocked up. I could do this. I could do that. I was expecting like a good 2 weeks before Seb would like ask him. Next day, I've got 14. It's
I was not gonna lie. I was shitting myself. I was like, how am I gonna get this many people in the league? And I just started messaging people because I was doing viewer battles, and there were a lot of people that never came back. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna message them. So like I messaged K Mega and I messaged who was it?
I wish you didn't.
I messaged Crystal Wolf. I messaged her and I was like, oh, maybe she wants to join. And they all said yes. And I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
And then I think, okay, let's see if like people I'm really close to in like Joshy's league want to join. Of course, I asked Josh, and he joined. And then Jeremy and the other Crystal wanted to join. I was like, hell yeah! There's more people in. It's like I just didn't know how I came up with that amount of money. It's just the fact that I had other people involved. I was like, okay, I need a get this thing going. And look at us now.
I know, and we're at now the finals. We just finished up playoffs. Like playoffs was
talk to me about playoffs.
insane. Insane. From it was just some matches happened, some matches didn't happen, and it was between everything. It was insane. But we're at it now where it's our boy Jake versus K Mega in the finals.
There
And
he is.
I mean, like, did you? I'm gonna be real. At the beginning of the season, I would have to say, no fault of your own, Jake, and definitely from the way we were talking about K Mega's team at the end of the draft. Like those are the last two I was expecting to be in the finals, and I mean, I think we all
K Mega would be dead last.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm the only one the only one that didn't make it to playoffs, so But at the end of the day, I mean, like it's crazy to see how the CCC works. Like that's why Draft League's so much fun because
it is.
What Jake and K Mega in the finals? Like you could have fooled me by just everything. The way people played, they adapted, the way they made trades and all that. And it's just absolutely insane. And then I just cannot wait for finals. And I mean, the playoffs were just insane. But we're near the end now, and what a wrap for season 1. What were your guys' like favorite matches? Like of the playoffs or the entire CC. I mean, there were so many, but I want to know what everyone's.
I got
match
2,
is.
and maybe one of them is because I helped you prep, Luke. But your second battle against I forget who it was against.
It was Jack. It was
against Jack. Your second battle against Jack. You played that. You read all his protect.
Yeah,
you played it perfectly. I love that match. I remember being on stream. I was like, "Yes, Luke, go, Luke!" I was just shouting.
I remember watching it back.
Yeah, I do remember that one. Actually, it was a really good one. Yeah,
I remember me and Jack sitting in that call, and I was just screaming, no, because we have a rule when like me and like. Normally, when I'm watching Jack, he puts his phone up and he plays a TV. Yeah. He puts on the TV, and we have a rule is that I don't speak until he's selected his moves, and then we can chat while like while the move animations are going on and stuff. And most of it was just me going, just biting something. No.
Yeah, I mean, I as someone who played that match, and I think for me personally, as a competitor of someone who has played playing that match. That was my favorite match of me playing it, and obviously I didn't end up winning the best 2 out of 3. But that was my favorite because I think that was the match where I realized that having the prep the right way, and also when I beat the Absols, that was also a good wake up of like how important
That's
prep
my
was for
second
me.
favorite game.
It was insane, and yeah, I don't know what came over me that second match. I watched it back and I'm like, why am I making these plays? Like it was just second nature to me. And then just remembering like the strats, like that's always been my biggest thing with like any competitive gameplay is I lose myself on like everything I prep for like in the moment. Like even when taking tests as a kid, it was like, oh, I've studied all this, I should know this, and then like I'm in the action and then it just kind of blanks. And the fact that it actually worked out, and then that match itself, those 3 matches were insane. The fact that we had the coil.
Oh
It was
yeah.
what was it? It wasn't Superior. It was
In
it was
Milotic.
some mon that
Milotic used
the
coil.
Milotic.
Yeah, and you didn't know it raised the
on me.
accuracy, and then
Yeah.
it put to sleep everyone.
Yeah. And then I said, I'm never letting that thing put me to sleep again. That thing is dying the second I see it because I'm not playing sleep games with Jackie Boy over here. I'm not doing it. And it was just my favorite match because it was just so much fun. And then obviously we didn't get the result that we wanted, but at the same time, I mean, Jackson, a great battler and knows what he's doing. And he realized that the only way he was going to beat me was making sure he nasty plots that Flappy Bird. And it definitely did its job. But I mean, that was my favorite match. And it's like cool to hear that you guys really enjoyed that match.
My
as
second
a
favorite
streamer, it's great.
Yeah.
The second
I
favorite
definitely
was
joined it because I prepped against it.
Yeah.
My second favorite was the Chonkachu, the Dynamax Pikachu.
Right.
Oh, the playoffs! Yeah, that was,
dude.
that was insane. Go ahead.
That was
Nick.
Kanto versus Crystal, right?
Yeah,
And I've got 2, same as Seb. One is just which one of my own I enjoy the most, but the one of watching other people. The fact that we actually got to see somebody Dynamax Pikachu, it's like because everyone was Dynamaxing, the big damage dealers and stuff like that, and nobody was Dynamaxing any of these little ones, barring I think the Absols did Dynamax Reboot, which was great, but
that was
that was a good one. But
that was a good
seeing
one.
Pikachu get Dynamax, it was
Yeah.
and it was the perfect move for it. It wasn't just like, desperation. Oh, what am I going to do? I suppose we Dynamax. No, it's like Crystal thought it through and was just like, yeah, this just absolutely destroys them. And I was just like, I was in both floods of tears, laughing and speechless all at the same time. It was brilliant to watch.
I mean, look at it, man. It's a giant fat Pikachu that's humongous, and it was doing work. And it was like you would think it's like, like those Pokemon you look at, like the Meowth and the Pikachu, the Gigantamax, like, oh, those are like gags, jokes. Like, no, dude, that Pikachu was there for taking lives, and it did that.
Yep.
Like that was
sure.
She was a great battler, and so was Kanto. Kanto had a great season. What a great turnaround for Kanto, who was, I think, at the 3 weeks he was 0-3, and then he beat me, and then after he beat me, he just went off to the races.
Yep.
And he was, everyone in playoffs in CCC had a great year. It was very fun to see everyone adapt as the season went on. And like I said before, I mean, Jake will admit to as we were talking in call. Like, I mean, he can tell you, we did, we all got better. And Jake, for sure, I mean, look at him. He's in the finals, and what was it? You didn't even know what Taunt did week 1. So, I mean,
so,
it's
like, in terms of like Pokemon battling, this is my, I think I battled Seb on stream, and that was my first online battle.
And he won.
Ever. Yeah, I won. No, it's been a roller coaster. It's been an emotional roller coaster, a roller coaster that has resulted in me getting ill.
oh yeah, that's right. You went through that, yeah. Ooh.
But now it's all behind me. Don't get me wrong. This week has been absolute torture. Mainly, I blame it mainly because my team building skills were very limited. Now, if you look at my team, that like going back I've only watched singles draft league. So if
Yep.
you look at my team, if that was in singles, you'd be pooping your
Spot
pants.
on.
I mean,
yeah, you'd be spot on. Yeah.
that team in singles will rip through anyone. But in doubles, it doesn't work. I've come to learn what I know to look out for. I know what I'm doing with terms of items and stuff. So, and it just helps that you have a general knowledge of. I mean, I still don't know like weaknesses and stuff. So don't get me started on why I'm max overgrowth to Garchomp.
Mike, the favorite thing I think you ever said was like, yeah, I just need to gen my mons and then your mons. It's like, why do you need to gen my mons? So that I've got them in the Pokedex so I can see the type matchups when picking the moves. It's like, really, you need that like help and stuff, but
I mean, I've been doing competitive
hands
for
down
years. Yeah.
My favorite games were the first match where the CCC police had the first showing.
Oh no!
Seb versus
Don't
Brandon.
get me started in the first.
Oh, the police!
I couldn't have thought of a better match to start than two good friends going at it. I couldn't even sit down when I watched that match. I was pacing around the room watching that match. And then the CCC police got involved, aka Josh.
Yep.
And thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh set the pace for the season in terms of no tolerance. But then like I'd say that's my third favorite game. The second favorite game is Luke versus the Absols. Because the prep that we put into that, me and Luke,
yeah,
was
we prepped it. It was
perfect.
insane.
It was perfect. And it turns out when I prepped for him as well, it worked. So I think I've got one up on the Daryl in terms of preparation matches.
Yeah.
And then my first favorite match has to go down to Seb versus Phoenix. That last turn,
I loved it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I loved the match.
What a match! What a match!
Yeah.
What a match! And I was screaming that. What move were you using, Seb, instead of high jump kick? It was
high jump kick or acrobatics, maybe.
It was Howluch's signature move.
Flying press.
Flying press.
Flying press. Flying press.
I never run flying press.
Oh, it was something like that. You were doing something that was doing enough damage, and I was like, he could do this, and he could take one if it doesn't crit. And Seb was like saying on stream, it's like, well, if it crits, I'm just gonna have to high jump kick. I was like, just don't play the crit. It's like 1 in 16 chance. Just don't play the crit. And he goes for the high jump kick and it misses. But I mean, like some of the and the shout out matches, Kanto versus Jack. When Kanto absolutely manhandled him, manhandled him.
I didn't think that was a match. That was like, what in the world is going on? But
Luke versus Mike for the battle of who would get to playoffs.
Who didn't get to go to playoffs? Who didn't actually get to go to playoffs and had to hide his severe disappointment at the end when Seb sent me who was in playoffs. I'm like, anyway, so it was like inside. I'm like, I'm crying right now
because no one was expecting
Brandon
Josh to lose to Brandon.
Because Brandon's been saying all season long how he was gonna beat Josh, and I'm like, okay, Brandon, but god damn it, he did it, and hats off to Brandon. He followed through. And can we just like take a minute and talk about Brandon's team? What an odd like assortment of mons that just shouldn't mesh well together. I mean, he Dynamaxed to Avalugg and
twice,
and would let a Raichu hit follow me 8 times at the same time. Like, this man had the insanity of a team, and just like somehow he still made it in.
But he played everyone. Everyone thought, oh, this is a Trick Room team. Everyone will prep for Trick Room against them.
Yeah.
Nope, no Trick Room on his side.
Yeah, Brandon just said no Trick Room, and that's his name is Brandon Logic for a reason. Like, that's Brandon's logic of how he plays Pokemon, dude. Like, it's insane.
And then other shout out matches, I think, has to go to like Nick versus K Mega.
Oh my god! What was it that missed? He should have done
horsepower.
Iron Head, but he did high horsepower.
He could have done he did high horsepower when he could have just done 100% move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. like
Because you were literally on 1 HP.
yeah, his explanation for that later was that he was scared of the ally switch, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I probably, me personally, I'd have been no, 100%, absolutely. And if I get ally switched on, I get ally switched on. But then I'm not thinking 10 steps ahead like he is. That's the thing,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes thinking 10 steps ahead is too many steps ahead.
Yeah.
Another standout match for me was when the 2-0 against me versus the Talonflames. That was a lesson in how you can get a +4 Lucario and still lose.
Fair enough.
So, oh man, yeah, no, those matches. Yeah, some of my favorite matches are, as you said, Phoenix versus. A lot of my favorite matches are just the experiences being in the watch party and watching watching those with everyone. A lot of thank God for Jake and Seb for hosting those watch parties, man, because that made me look forward to all those matches. I mean, Phoenix versus Seb, that was an insane match. I remember that was the loudest we've ever. I remember me, Jake, and Nick screaming in chat, no, don't I jump kick, and when he did, it was no. But I mean, it was but I mean, that's the thing. Some of those matches are my favorite. I mean, watching Kanto versus Crystal was amazing as well. I really enjoyed Nick and versus Jake. When I watched that pack, that was fun for me to watch because I'm just because it was the lead up. It was the lead up for the match. It's it's Jake and Nick. It's Jake and Nick, and then the outcome was just what in the world? But it was so fun watching it back and just a lot. It was a lot. Some of even the ones where it's a clean sweep. Yeah. When you get a clean sweep, it's it's still entertaining because you're it's not what you expect, and you're just what happened, But yeah, a lot of those matches were my favorite, and I think we accomplished as a group and everyone that was in the CCC to provide an entertaining season. Great battling, for sure. great strategies, great team building. I think everyone got a lot better competitively with Pokemon as a result of the CCC, and I mean, what a way to wrap. Again, we're going into finals tomorrow as of recording, and it's and then we're gonna go dive, and then we're diving into season 2. That's
so far.
That's
which
coming
is gonna
up,
be
man.
Totally different from season 1.
Guys, don't even we're not gonna say anything just yet, but just be on the lookout because season 2. Oh man, we have some things planned. You'll find out soon, guys. You'll find out soon.
This is your redemption arc, yeah, Luke. This is where you're just gonna sweep the board every single game.
I am winning every match. You have no idea. I'm putting on my thinking cap. I'm calling Jake every night. Jake, Seb, help me. Podcast would be the Luke prep sessions.
I feel like I have to do well because this is my rule set, pretty much. I have whinged all of season 1.
You whinged at everything, man.
And luckily Seb has let me get my way. But I think it's different. I think it's different than anything else that anyone.
I'll tell you the rule set we're gonna use. I mean, we could say it. It's no Dynamax, no Legends. No one has ever done this before. No one.
It's something that the Pokemon company doesn't.
Has it ever been done in singles?
No,
or
I think it's been done in singles, but not doubles.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. But at least from what I was looking for, because I need someone to help me out with the tier list, because this is insane. Because everything's around legendary Pokemon, Ultra Beast, restricted. Everything revolves around that. But if you take that away, there's
the whole meta was in a completely different.
I mean, we've literally changed the Pokemon metagame by altering it this way because. I mean, me and Seb have had, and I know Jake and Nick share the same. Me and Seb have many conversations of how dry the competitive scene is in Pokemon right now for doubles VGC style, and this is a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's gonna make people. Not only are we doing Draft League where we have to use monsters that we probably never used before, and that are rarely used, where we have to come up with new strategies, but now we don't have that handicap of having that legend or that, ultra beast or whatever, that restricted mon, like to be like, all right, that's gonna be the big powerhouse. Like now we have to be like, all right, how can I make like a hound, a crocodile like sweep the team? Like you have to like think on, you feel like, oh snap, gold like actually is viable. Like these mons that we're seeing now are mons that we're
anything
just
with
not
like
seeing.
above 100 base stat in any stat pool
is on
like,
there now.
it's viable. It's viable.
You don't even need
like,
to be 100 for some of them.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Crobat.
it's
I mean,
crazy.
I make Crobat work, and that's running like base 90.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't want to talk about your fat Batman. Like, you leave that alone.
Hey, Fatbat's A tier this season, bro. It's definitely worth picking. I'll tell you now. It causes more problems per prep than anything else. I thought I picked Silvally because everyone would be like, "Oh, well, they can't prep for that shit." It's like, no, they can't. But in fact, Silvally wasn't the problem. It was Fatbat.
Yeah, right.
Fatbat is the one.
It's done so well, it's gone up in the rankings. And I mean, part of that is the fact that we've obviously had to change them all for the legends and stuff. But at the same time, when we're looking at what mons need to go up, the fact that Crobat is now in, I believe it's gone up to, is it A or S tier?
It's A tier.
It's not quite S, but still, like, Crobat in A tier, that seems ridiculous.
Yeah, but the way Jake has changed the way we all look at Crobat now. Like, he can do whatever.
This is it.
We got Fat Bat, dude. Who would have thought we'd see Fat Bat in competitive Pokemon in 2021, dude? Like, not me.
I love Crobat, man. Crobat has a special place in my heart. You never know.
Watching he's going to peak it for season 2.
I'll get the team tattooed. It's like, if I win, I'll get the team tattooed.
Right.
Boy.
I mean, at this point,
pay Mega to roll over just for that.
Yeah. I mean, while we're talking about finals, I mean, you might as well, even though Jake's in the finals, like when we were talking about ideas for like what we like for the podcast, like we're always going to talk about finals predictions. But I mean, let's be real. Well, I mean, we thought Jake had a chance. We wanted Jake like near the end. We're like, Jake needs to be in the finals. We need him for selfish reasons as well. But it was crazy because
we just needed someone to provide the match day content.
The match. Exactly.
We've got that. We've got that. I will tell you now that it's not as hard to prep for as week 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like K Mega's trades have made his team worse.
Mm-hmm.
But that does not take away from the fact
that he's got a hippo.
That he doesn't need his traded mods. He's like, he doesn't need them at all.
No.
Fair enough.
The base mods that he had were completely unreal. I feel like the trades that he's made has opened up an opportunity for me to get in there. It's opened up an opportunity for me to win. I feel like if it was the team that he had at the start, I wouldn't have had a chance.
Yep. He traded the Gastrodon. So Gastrodon against your team, Jake.
The Gastrodon was critical for his team.
Yeah.
Critical for his team. And I didn't think like he needed the speed as much as he thought he did. Because I'm pretty sure he picked... Well, then again, he was all physical attacking as well. It's always nice to have a special attacker, as I found when I drafted in... I did the trade for Sceptile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like my team was heavily physical, and it's something going into season 2 that I will definitely pick up on is the fact that you have to have that spread. But no, I feel like I have an opportunity. I still feel like if there was a meter, it would be 60-70% K Mega's side.
Mm-hmm.
Solely down to the pure power that he's got, which is what people will probably want to be looking at for season 2 is just get raw power.
Don't make my mistake.
Just get raw power, it doesn't matter. Like, I remember saying to Jack in the draft when I was sat here and we were doing all the changeovers and stuff, I was like, I'm going to spike pick Hippowdon. And I should have done. I should have done. I had the opportunity to spike pick Hippowdon and I should have done. Now I have to prep for it.
If you had it done, for the record. Very different results on everyone's level.
Everyone's
100%.
I mean, and my S tier was Tyranitar, so I mean, Hippowdon Tyranitar could have ran through everyone.
It could have. It sure could have. And I mean, I think for me, looking at the finals as a matchup is, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, bias wise, I want Jake to win, but like looking at it from like a strategically competitive standpoint, I think what for you, Jake, what you did, you saved your team by making those trades, and you've made you subs. Now you're at the point where you don't have to do so many backwards things to make your mons kill other mons. You can actually just straight go in for the kill now, which is I think is really good, especially when you have to go against someone who's just bringing the power. You need to match power with power. So I mean, I think for me, I think at the end of the day, I think I would have to go with you, Jake, solely because I think you've learned so much. And I think you are one of the people that you can see what K Mega's trying to do and just counter it right then and there. And you still have that sneaky way of like doing so many things out of the box that I think that when you do things out of the box, I think that gives everyone a little bit more of a competitive edge because you can't necessarily go with what you know, which is something that I've realized. Like you can't just go with what you know, what you think how this mon's supposed to be run, because someone can go ahead and run a fat bat. you know, that's just me.
So I think for myself, if we're doing predictions here, like as Luke's touched on, well, not just touched on, thoroughly explained, like the growth of Jake from the beginning to the end is huge, right? And to be fair, I think that the team you have now absolutely has the potential to be taking down K Mega. K Mega's team, it's it's not one dimensional as we all thought it was in the beginning. It can do a lot, but you definitely have the potential there. That said, I've played both of you, and I mean, you smashed me, you demolished me in the quarterfinals. Um, but even with that, I personally think the experience K Mega has over you is going to come down to him taking the W.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing against you, man. I think
No,
I
no,
won't
I
be
expect it, man.
surprised. I won't be surprised if you win. But I think if I was a betting man, which I'm not, by the way, but if I was, I would be putting my money on K Mega.
I
What about you, Seb? I thrive on being the underdog, man. I love being the underdog. It takes so much pressure off your shoulders. But I want to hear what Seb has to say, man. My
no. So
tutor,
I battled K Mega about 7 times. I've never beaten him.
no.
But maybe it's a little less than 7 times. He was they weren't serious matches. I was representing one of the gym leaders and he would come and beat me.
I've seen it. I've seen you battle him 3 times at least.
I've never beaten him ever. But I know what Jake's gonna do. And I know how he's prepped. And it's gonna come down on who did the better prep, I think. K Mega better have been done his homework against Jake's team, because I think I went through Jake's team before, and the base stat total on that team after his trades jumped exponentially. Like he's got power now. I think I'm too invested in Jake. I want him to win. I want him to win. Like I'm so proud of him. I remember being like before everything started, he was saying along the lines like, if I win one match, it's good for me. And look at him now, man.
Yeah.
Look at him now. He's in the finals.
At him now. Woo!
He's in the freaking finals.
I forgot how bad the competitive streak is in me in terms of wanting to win. And like Seb says, the prep is a massive thing. And like Pokemon is being a turn-based game, you can prep for it. It's like I used to play football. So you can't put anything can happen in football. It's a game of physics with a rubber ball. This is a game of calculated moves. I mean, barring like a crit or a miss, like which no one preps for. You can. It's a game of numbers, and luckily I've been good with numbers.
I mean, like I've seen you put in the work. Like I see you, like sneakily in the Discord channel, prepping with Jack, and you put in the work. You know,
I've put in hours. I've put in hours to this.
The prep that Jake does is far and beyond, like leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else I have seen doing. The number of calculations this guy does is ridiculous.
Yeah. But I need that. I need that just so I don't click max overgrowth for a car jump. No. It's a matter of permutations. And there's, to a certain extent, I feel it comes down to team building, because if you build a good team, you can predict what items are going to use. And with K Mega, the problem he's going to have is I have ran almost a different team every week. Every week. I think I've done 9 reiterations of my team in terms of like different mons, or some things are sweeper and some things not, different Dynamax mons. So he's going to have a hard time predicting it.
Yeah.
So unless he's gone outside of the box this game, but I don't think he can, because some items are vital, like weakness policy, life orb, some sort of berry. You expect this to come, like especially a life orb or a weakness policy. It's like it's almost guaranteed in draft league, because it's too saucy, man. When you see that +2 in the calculator, it's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You start seeing those green bars, it's like, oh baby, it's over.
Baby. Oh baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I'm a sucker for weakness policy. I've run it for like 6 out of the 8, like 6 out of the 9 weeks. I'm a sucker for the weakness policy, man. But sometimes I don't trigger it. I just wait for you to trigger it, aka Nick.
All right, yeah.
Sometimes I do trigger it. But that's up for K Mega to decide. I mean, it's all good fun. And we've both talked and how poetic it is that the first match we ever played has now come to the final match.
Exactly.
This is it. Full circle.
And I will always take solace in the fact that I beat him with a Corsola in my team. I did take a match off him before he decided that he was going to absolutely destroy me, but
yeah.
Yep.
I took a match off him. And like Seb says, my team is exponentially better now, so I have many more options.
Yeah.
And I have a wealth of knowledge. We've got 10 weeks worth of battling knowledge going into this.
Yeah.
I still think I'm the underdog, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And I have a dream. That trophy will be sat there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
That trophy will be sat there.
You just want to save on the postage costs, man. Like,
if that doesn't happen, okay, Mega, the trophy's coming to you, my guy. I will post it out to you. Because in my eyes, you deserve it. Because you have wiped every single person in the league, apart from this guy
right here. Okay, worth pointing out, and I know I've already said it to these guys before, but like, I've beaten both of the guys in the finals. I mean, maybe it should be me that's getting this trophy, but Jake did beat me the second time around, so you know, there's that. He's showing he's got better. He lost, then he beat me, you know. But yeah, K Mega, he's wept the rest of the league so far.
I mean, it's very poetic that I think we all definitely underestimated the Sand team. That we all thought he was gonna run during the draft, and he shut us up quick. And look at him now in the finals.
Half of my team, because half of my team was Sand. He sniped every single one of them. So
and that's gonna be another problem for season 2.
Pick the Tyranitar, like, because you were like, I'm planning on doing Sand. Then you picked the Tyranitar last. You should have looked at that point and just been like, nah, I don't need it anymore. But you live and learn, right?
I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the battle knowledge. I just It was
season 2, baby. Well, it's gonna
season 2, baby. It's gonna be different.
For season 2 is gonna be that cutthroat,
draft
man.
Is gonna be. It's gonna be
cutthroat.
Yeah,
it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough. But gonna be fun still. So
have we got anything else to talk about, Seb? Have you got any more points?
I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
I think.
Where are we at? Where are we at with the time?
1 and 15.
Oh, we're
Well,
live.
good job.
We're
Awesome.
Perfect. Oh,
I guess do we want to do like a little like outro or whatnot, or
yeah, we can do. Yeah, take it away, Seb. Hit us
Well,
out. Hit us out.
Thank you guys for joining today. The CCC first episode of the CCC podcast. We'll be back soon, and hopefully with other news as well. But now just go ahead, enjoy finals. Wish Jake luck. Send in all the love on to Jake, and I'll see you guys next time. So bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.